Okay, hi everybody. I've been sending some messages out and some links out to go live and do a live test here this morning. I haven't done a real live test with guests and seeing if I can get my live chat going again. Anyway, my name is Richie Eddings and this is the Jesus Movement. I've got, looks like I got somebody waiting in backstage here. So let me say a prayer and I'll see if I can get him on. I don't see his picture anymore, but he's on microphone. Anyway, thank you, Lord, for this broadcast. I appreciate every day that you're with me and helping me in my life. And I hope that you just never stop helping and blessing all of our lives. And I ask that you guide me through this program today and give me the speech, the utterance to talk to my friends and the viewers here. And I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see. He says, as to stream. You there, John?
I'm here.
All right. You're not going to let me see you?
I don't know. It said I'd lost cameras.
Well, what happened? I saw you at first.
I know, and now I don't have a camera.
Okay. Anyway, that's okay. So how you been doing?
Been doing great, my friend.
All right. Things looking up now?
Everything's looking hunky-dory so far.
Hunky dory. I like that one. All right. I sent a few other links out. I don't know if anybody else is going to join us, but so far the live is working, you know. What I did want to check though, while we're at it here, is can you go and then can you try to do a chat? Like type in a chat, like hi Rich, and that's it.
I don't think I know how to do that. I'll try.
Does it say? Does it have a place where you can put a comment in anywhere?
Yeah, I think so. Let me check.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're waiting for John. I'm looking up a scripture here of something that really helped me, and when I was down and out and didn't know really what I was going to do to keep on going. So right now I'm looking in Philippians 4:13. Okay, it says this is a big popular one too. It says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. Just that one little line. I went to a big church for some help one day, and this was years ago. There you are, John. Let me
Yay.
add you back. I'm going to add you back, okay?
Okay.
Remove that other one. Now I'll add you back. Okay, hey,
All
we got
right,
you.
there I am.
All right, good deal. Okay, I was just reading a scripture that really helped me a lot. You know, like when I was down and out a long time ago. I'm not saying you're down and out. I'm just I'm just saying I wanted to read this to for anybody who's watching. This really helped me. I ran across a pastor, associate pastor in a big church when we were years ago in Washington. Me and my wife were having some major problems, and the guy, we needed some bus fare or something or whatever, right? And we started talking to him. We left the church; they couldn't help us, but he stopped us on the way out, and he said, "If you do this one, say this one thing at least once a day, I guarantee it'll help you." Right? And it was Philippians 4:13. You're probably familiar with that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. Strengtheneth me. Some of these words in the King James are hard to say. I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. And that helped me, believe it or not. That helped me a lot. I got Lou Mars hanging here on live chat, and he's a real popular drummer, musician. He plays all kinds of instruments, and he's got his own originals out, and he's on my brother's show, Royce in the House. You ever watched Royce in the House?
I have.
Okay, Lou, I'm going to bring you in. Okay, here we go.
Hello, brothers. Good morning from
What
California.
is happening, my friend?
Howdy, howdy. This is a rock musician's hairdo this early in the morning.
Hey, I like that, man.
Thank you. This could all be
How'd
yours.
you do it?
You know, it's called turn over, get out of bed.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
right.
you know, see, this is the look you want. It's like a Johnny Depp kind of thing going. See,
It is.
anyone
It
else
really
they
is.
anyone else they would say, "Are you homeless?" But when you're a musician, they're like, "That's a great hairdo."
That is
guys.
perfect. I love it.
I saw
So
your
how you been,
message.
Lou?
I'm good. You know, working hard, making a run. You know, I mean, and I was listening to some of your chat, and you know, one of the things I want to say, I'm going to say this about music and religion, is that I feel music has led us to so many places. And religion, we all know, if you go to church, people, or even if you don't go to church, you know, music is a big part of religion. It's huge, and it's important. And that one of the things that bothered me over the last couple of years, and I'm not going to get into this, but I'm going to say music was taken away from us people. Music helps you heal. It helps you go to places. It helps you see and get to certain places mentally. It's so important.
Absolutely does.
Yeah, so I'm really thrilled that music is coming back. I mean, not since, this might get me in trouble for saying, but not since like the Hitler regime has music been taken away. You know what?
It really
right?
is.
But that's
Right.
true. And remember, he said, hey, no more art. But then he collected it all himself and stole it and put it aside. You know, it was like absurd.
It's crazy when they started finding some of that stuff, isn't it?
Right. Yes. That he had it, that he took it, and then he's blowing things up. Now, I'm not claiming that we are the Hitler regime by any means. Some people don't write me about that. But what I'm saying is there were some parallels that were scary. And I'm just thrilled on the good news that we're back. We're talking about that music. I'm getting to play again. I mean, I lost my tour like everybody else. I was on tour when that went down. But yeah, I'm doing good.
That's
New
great.
music.
I
New
want to tell you
music.
something about John here. Me and John played in a few bands together. He's a drummer too.
Oh, right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club, John.
Meat and potatoes drumming.
Oh,
What's
drums.
What kind of drumming?
Meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes drumming. Why you say it like that? What do you mean by that?
2 and
It just
4,
come out.
1 and 3. That's the only thing people could dance to.
You know
Four
what
on
I
the
liked
floor.
Lou on that? What you did on Royce in the House the other day? That beat that where you did the bump bump bump. You had that in the groove on the bass drum. That was, you know what? I haven't really heard that too many times on the groove like that. You know, it was really cool.
I'm really into double beats. Big fan. I mean, I was raised in jazz, and I competed early. I competed as early as 13 years old. I was just one of those guys. I played other instruments, but the drums came natural.
Right.
It just came to me, and you know, I'm blessed for that. And that I'm able to play right now. They kept comparing me to Keith Moon back in the day.
Wow.
And Ringo Starr. But being a young whippersnapper, I'm like mad when they did that, right? I'm like, no, I'm my own drummer. Huh? I'm not Keith Moon. I'm Ringo Starr. I'm Lou Mars, you know? And you know, I mean, that's just young, stupid stuff you do, right?
I tell you what, I am my own guitar player. I hardly, you know, I listened to a lot of music and I went to a lot of concerts and I really liked, you know, loved a lot of bands, but I never really got hooked on any of them. I'm not no great guitar player or nothing. I'm good at what I do, and that's all I can really say. And but I really loved a lot of bands, but I never, until I got older, right? When I was growing up, a teenager, and a little later than that, I really started. Maybe I started getting more heart or whatever, and started appreciating things more. You know.
That's it.
That's what I think happened to me on that. Then I started really I liked Elvis okay when I was younger, but as I got older, I started listening to him and I said, damn, you know, I mean, that guy had some heart. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, you know, at the beginning, at least for me, the problem with my start was I was raised in music to compete. So I wanted to kick your butt and get you off. I wanted to play you off the stage. That was my mindset. Now I'm older, I'm mellower, and now I'm just happy to be there. One, and I'm thrilled. I'm telling you, I'm just being the truth. And I'm thrilled that you care enough to come see me play and want to catch my groove. So totally different. That's part of maturing as a musician, like you were talking about. But as far as
Right.
Elvis, I was blown away by Elvis. I remember being a kid watching him because of the way he moved, of course. But Elvis was Elvis. There wasn't a band. It was Elvis, right?
Right.
And that's why when the Beatles, man, when we saw the Beatles, all of a sudden you had a band, including the drummer. You knew everybody's name. I think Ringo, in my opinion, was the first real rock drummer. He had the big arcs. I mean, the guy's way underrated. He was up there doing show drumming with that head going on, hitting
Right.
hard, right on a big riser. I mean, Gene Krupa was amazing, and so of course Buddy Rich. But they were jazz drummers. They are a jazz drummer cat. Ringo Starr, first rock drummer. You guys can challenge me on that offline or chat. You go ahead and challenge me on that. You bring up someone before Ringo that's a rock drummer. I want to know. That was, A-lister. Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, what got me about Ringo, it was perfect. He was perfect for the Beatles too. I mean,
Yes.
remember the crash cymbal? He rode that crash a lot.
Oh,
That was.
it-
I had a drummer in one of my younger bands. I don't know if you know him, John. His name was Kelly Nielsen. Did you ever remember Kelly Nielsen? He played in my band called Fresh Candy. That was a great band. We did all like mostly 70s rock, but it wasn't the stuff like oh gosh, what can I say? It wasn't the on the heavier side. It was like the Doobie Brothers, and it was like
Yeah.
oh gosh, the Beatles. We did a lot of Beatles, and we did a lot of some Stones, and we even did some of the disco that was out there.
all right.
It was
Hey,
great. It was great. We had a great time, and we went on the road a few times and had fun with it. But Kelly Nielsen was his name, and he would lay a groove. He was a drummer singer, right?
right on.
He sang most of the songs, and he had a voice just unbelievable. And man, we just loved that guy, and we had so much fun in that band. Mostly a bar. It was a bar band until we were out on the road and stuff. But we had
That's amazing.
small local bars around, which is packed all the time. Kind
How funny.
of a dream.
There,
I tell you, for a '60s band, I really enjoyed the showmanship of Carmine Appice with Cream.
Yeah.
I met Carmine, and Carmine at the time when I met him was doing the double sticks in the hand. He would put one here and then another stick here, and each had he had four
Crazy, huh?
sticks. Yeah, and he would do that. Great drummer. Ended up with Ozzy, I believe, at that time. But yeah, I ran into him. He was amazing. For me, and kind of touching on what Richie said about his back in the day playing, there was an old commercial. You guys, the I think it's credit card commercials where they kind of say this much for this much for that, and they end it with priceless, right? That was their tag. Well, I remember seeing an ad where they showed this kid, they showed the school bus pulling up, and all the kids are getting out, and they're moving into a college. They're going to college, and they're doing textbooks for college. This 1,000, 1 quarter at college. This many thousands. And then the last kid he gets off with a guitar case, and he goes over to another bus that's going on the road with a bunch of guys, musicians. They go, going on the road with musicians, surpassing college, priceless. True. There's nothing.
No, I believe it, man.
And folks, I'm not saying don't go to college. I went back and went to college, but it is priceless. If anyone has had that experience, when you're on stage, if you've ever been with a band where all 4 cylinders are going, man, or 8 cylinders, depending how big your band is, when the whole band is cooking, the crowd is rocking like you were talking about, there's nothing like it in the world. That feeling. And back then they had the big speakers that blown the air back at you. It wasn't these in-ear monitors, which I can't stand.
Right.
Bunch of crap.
Yeah. You know what? I don't even like the. I've
No.
got a set of the monitors that are wireless, go in your ears.
Yeah.
You have the control pack. I haven't even used them yet. I don't have a big PA right now. I just got a small it's a Yamaha, and I think it's got 12 channels. I'm looking at the brain right now. It's got 12 channels, and it's a couple of mains,
No.
And, but I've got a monitor set. I've been doing Christian stuff, and they all use the headphone monitors.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I played in a couple of churches when I started doing it, and they all had those, right? And I'm like, man, hey, you know what? I don't want to mess with my hearing at all.
Well, it separates you from the
I
crowd.
want to hear all that stuff.
It's yeah. I mean, it separates you from the crowd, in my opinion. You're here instead of there. You know, you're
Uh-huh.
not hearing everything. You're hearing it recycled. And for me, it doesn't work. They end up being pulled out immediately, or at least have
Right.
one out. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I won't do it. And
That's what I started doing because I couldn't
yeah.
stand. I couldn't stand having both of my ears plugged up. What about you, John? How'd you feel about that? Did you have to wear
It
earplugs
was
ever?
just monitoring hot spots.
Huh?
The
That's
hot
what that's
spots.
what happened to my ears, huh? You know what I mean?
worth every dime of losing
Right.
your hearing. I've
What
been
were you
asked
saying,
that.
John? I'm sorry. Let me
He's
put
talking
my
about the
hearing
pod.
aid in.
He's talking about the those hearing where you control your own monitor, right, John?
Right.
Yeah,
Those are cool. I
yeah,
still
those-
prefer
yeah, that's all right.
15s. There's nothing like a good old fashioned 12 or 15 blowing back at you, though. You know?
Oh yeah, I love
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I love having my one right in front of me. I don't care if I'm like, give me some more monitor.
Yeah, there's
all
a
night long.
band.
Give me some more monitor.
There's
As
a
the
band.
night goes, it's give me some more monitor because you get deafer as the night goes.
There's
I
two.
lost some hearing in one ear. I
this
had
one might
these
too.
PVSP4s, I think, two 15s or two 18s or two 15s and a big horn on top.
Yeah.
And I was checking the horn like an idiot, right? And I said, that doesn't sound like it's working. So I got the mic in my hand and I go to the speaker and I stick my ear in the horn, right? I said, okay, let's check it out, right? They turn
Oh
it on,
no.
and I got
Bang.
the highest pitch, loudest feedback I ever heard, right direct in my ear. And my ear went out. This is right before
Wow.
I started playing. My ear went out for a while. And then it started crackling about 15 minutes later and coming back in. Like if somebody's breaking up on a CB or something. And then it came back, but it's never been the same.
You know, I've, two things about that. One, I get asked about, you know, do you wish you wore earplugs on all those tours you were on to save your hearing? And my answer is absolutely not. I wouldn't give up anything. You know, every second of that, feeling that floor vibrate and having my hair. Remember that old ad guys with the martini and the guy sitting in the chair and he's like getting blown away with those speakers,
Yeah.
the old high fidelity. I totally appreciate that. And
I
love
crack
it.
up on Back to the Future. Remember in the
Yeah,
beginning,
oh,
he
yeah.
goes into the mad scientist
Yes.
lab area, and he's got him a big old speaker
Big
rig.
old-
It's
yeah.
as big as the whole. It's like as high as the ceiling. And
Yeah.
he cranks it all the way up, and he gets a pick, and the
Yeah.
guitar he goes bam.
Well, the
It
second
flies across the room.
the second thing was I knew I had hit the big time on sound when, you know, I had seen the bands like all of us where you'd seen Judas Priest with all the, you know, back then they had all the stacks all the way across. And those babies were on.
Yeah.
They weren't fake. People were like, that's fake. No, it wasn't. So I was on the MTV Ball and Chain tour back in 1990. And we were playing warming up for Social D back then, Social Distortion. They had 10,000 watts on the stage sound. That was the stage. I kid you not. They had
That's
a
a lot of
huge
watts.
mixer. That's a lot of watts. It was
Yeah.
so loud that when I've always did vocals. I was doing vocals on a kick. I could not hear my voice as it was coming out of my mouth. I had to wait for the delay for it to come back in the left monitor. That's how loud it was. Couldn't hear it
Wow.
on the top. I'm like, you know, and I couldn't hear it. It was like nothing
tell
coming
you-
out of my mouth.
the loudest I've ever heard in the concert was Iron Maiden in the early '80s. It was pushing 80,000 watts,
Oh
Woo!
my God.
and every time I come down front, it felt like my chest was caving.
Yes.
From McCrane's bass drum. It was insane.
I played
I used to love that feeling I get in my gut from the bass
Oh,
to drum to
perfect.
the bass, man.
that's a concert. That's a concert. That was live music, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was at the Ogden Theater, and I always have a habit back then of when I got up. This is before I was doing frontman on guitar, but I'd get up and I'd always do this little doo-doo. It's a little kick. I don't know, it's a little thing. Ba-bum. And I got up there one time and we had a full house. It was 2,500 sold out, Ogden Theater, Denver. I'll never forget this. And they led me up there and I'm walking up and I went boom. It was you could see all these silhouettes
Wow.
just get hit. And I was like, oh shit, you know. It goes to show, you know, you feel that, and that's gone. I play festivals still in 2019 before they took them down. They're back now, but that's not. You don't see that kind of power. The amps are smaller. The sound is cleaner and the technology is great, but you forget that those speakers pushed air for a reason. That was part of it. we've lost that a little bit. I miss it. I'm going to say
Yeah,
I
I do
miss that.
too. There was a place in Vegas where I grew up, Henderson in Vegas, Nevada. You know that. But anyway, it was called the Las Vegas Convention Center. It was a rotunda. Remember, John?
Yeah.
Round, right on the inside. The seats went the lower
Circular,
balcony and the upper balcony
like the
went all the way in
Omnimax.
a circle. Then you had the main floor where you paid like $5 or $10 extra for, and the highest ticket was like $25. And main
wow.
acts came in there, and it had the best sound ever. I don't know what it was. It just, and you know the sound. Uh-oh, I lost myself.
Nope,
I
come
tripped
back,
over the
come
camera. Oh gosh, that's Richard for you. Okay, here we go.
that's-
My back.
That's authenticity.
Part
Yeah,
of my head. All right.
you're there. You're there.
Okay. So, oh yeah, badass. Okay, hold on. Anyway, the sound guy was always this big dude, tall dude, usually, maybe two of them, long hair, big beards, and a board that was a mile long. And if it was way back up in the middle. They had them set up, and they had knobs and slides and gauges, but it was all no transistors.
No, not back then. Yeah.
It was all just clean, hardcore sound, and it was just beautiful. The stereo that they played the music on when they were warm, setting up and stuff, was more than awesome. It was just such a sound. I couldn't believe it. And I've never heard a concert that, well sounding since then. I mean, They went to the Aladdin Theater, the big casino theater. They have the outdoor ones like June Fest. Was that what's called?
Aladdin was the best.
And it would be 110 out there in July. So I don't know. And it was.
I don't know if people do that.
Fest, John, I think it was. They would be giving away free water, right? And we had people walking around spraying people down and stuff like that. And they had medical things set up with air conditioning in them in case somebody passed out or whatever. And they usually hosted about 40,000 people and had like 10, 12 bands all day long, 10 in the morning to 10 at night. Yep. And they had Sandy cans, outdoor bathrooms, what do you call it, outhouses? The real ones. And they had those as about 100 yards long in a couple of rows. Well, that was an outdoor deal, right?
Well,
and, wow.
People don't realize about that.
It was brutal, but it was great. But the sound was never that great out there.
Well, the sound,
unless you were real close to
we
the
had long
stage,
throw. Yeah, sound outside would just go up. We had long throw systems. That's where the new technology is a lot better. The new amps really target and know how to drop the sound now to the middle of the area. But what people don't realize, like on my 2015 tour, I was up front on a double neck. I played a bass up top, guitar on the bottom in the Lou Mars band. And on that tour, we were doing outside shows a lot. And we were up in Oregon and Washington. And what would happen that people don't realize, well, you're out there in the sun, so are we. And that sun was in my face a lot of times. We would come on, we were like one of the headliners. So guess when that was? Sunset. And that sun would be right in my face. I'd be looking out, just getting blinded. Rough. It's rough. And here's the other thing people don't know about. So all those pedals I would have for my guitar, they're LEDs, they're lit up with numbers. Same with the keyboard. It's a synth player. You can't see them. The sun is so bright. Right. No. So you're like, oh no, you got to, okay, next song is 22, 25, 13, 16. You can't, you're guessing at what number it's on when you're pushing those clicks. So you have to have that organized. So it's a whole different game when you're playing shows like that to be able to handle that. So it's tough stuff.
Right. Well, John, you remember, the difference when did you have problems when you played at the churches for trying to switch from rock and roll to the praise stuff?
No, I could mellow down pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty versatile on the drums too. He had a lot of you have to look up Lou Mars stuff too. He'll blow you away too. He had a lot of, when he did his solos, when John did his solos, he had a lot of that he did some really cool cymbal and hi-hat stuff.
I will check him out.
You don't see a lot, I was like, oh, what's that? And I don't know where you learned it or anything, or did you just pick it up on your own?
Who's your inspiration, John?
Oh man, Carmine Appice, Vinny Appice. My favorite from 1968 was Ron Bushy of Iron Butterfly.
Wow, yeah, he was way ahead of his time.
He's a drummer that was underrated.
Did he use a double kick?
Metamorphosis album, and the Ball album and listen to some of the stuff he did to those tracks. Amazing, unheard of.
Wow.
Yeah, any drummer that brings the drummer to the front.
I like
Like,
a drum.
love
I
it.
like a drummer. I don't care for drum solos. I like guys that play the right stuff at the right time.
No
That's
shit.
classy.
I'm like, sorry.
That
Lord.
sells. That sells records, not drum solos.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. First off, drum solos, when not done properly, can be incredibly boring, and I'm a drummer saying that. These drummers that start out with that doom, doom, you're like, oh, geez, you've fallen asleep. This is the time to go get a drink. But at the same time, I do like if you keep it, you got to keep it short. Keep it under 2 minutes and tell a story. If you're going to do a drum solo, tell a story with that solo. Work your way into it and don't get right into flurries. Get to the end where you do a flurry and then bring it back down, make it dramatic, and then big crash. I like showboating. I'm a showboating drummer, so I like backward pinwheels. I don't like juggling. Some guys take it too far and they look like jugglers. I don't want to be a juggler or a clown or a joke, but I do like a little bit of showmanship in between. It's a fine line.
I tell you, a drummer that is really good, plays from the heart, is not technical, is Joey Kramer for Aerosmith.
Oh, yeah. Well, remember the original drummer was Tyler.
Right.
Tyler's a good drummer. They used to call him Bonzo, which one of my favorite drummers, John Bonham.
Right.
I had the pleasure of seeing John Bonham on the last show he played in America that weekend in Day on the Green. I'd never seen, other than Denny Carmassi from Montrose, who I also really love.
Denny's a monster.
Yeah. Did you know, this is an interesting fact about him, these two guys. His hi-hat that he used in Rock Candy is the most sampled hi-hat sound in recording studios. I thought that was
kidding.
No, that's boom, boom. God,
I see Denny Carmassi drumming for Sammy Hagar, who opened up
in
for
Heart.
Boston at the Atlanta Theater Performing Arts. Man, what a monster that guy is.
I watched him play Barracuda with Heart. Can you imagine? Oh man, that dude's foot. And so he was one of my heroes. So I do a lot of that. That what you heard in that one. I do a lot of double beats, single foot. I don't use a double kick for that reason, because I want people to know I'm not cheating. That's just my right foot doing that stuff. So Immigrant Song, bum, 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 bum. A lot of guys are cheating, just going boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, boom. Now I'm like dum, da, 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 dum. That's my right foot. I appreciate that kind of work. But where I was going with Bonham and also Denny, both the time I saw those guys live, I've never seen an entire theater for Denny, entire stadium for John, where everyone started air drum. When John Bonham came out and started with levee breaks, boom, chicka da, doom, doom, da, everybody's hands went up. It wasn't 100,000 drummers, so that was pretty amazing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's one of the few drummers that if you're in a car, that song can start with the drums and you're like, that's Bonham. You can tell that's Bonham, man. There's nobody hits like that. So I love that dude. I also love the drummers you brought up. Definitely valid points. Don't forget old Gene Krupa. Gene, way back. Here he was in a huge orchestra, and he got highlighted. He was so good and so animated. He came to the front of an orchestra. That's amazing. I just
tell you what, for a blues rock drummer, Bill Lorden, Lordan, Robin Trower. My God, that guy when he solos incredible. Just from the heart. He never was technical, but he could play his ass off.
I actually had the pleasure of owning. Remember Billy Cobham?
Billy Cobham.
Yeah, the Wizard. You always were the Wizard. I owned his Octobans. He was the guy that came up with those Octobans. I owned his original Octobans for about 8 years and toured with him. These tube drums that Tama eventually took over and made. But I had all 8 of them from here to here. They're only like a 6-inch diameter head. So you had to have your act together. You went wild on the top, man. It was nuts.
I wouldn't be able to hit that one. I'd be like hitting the rim. It just sound like a rim shots.
Neil Peart ended up getting a set, and you heard a lot. Neil would do it of course, with Rush on Trees. That dude's such a precision drummer. I'm not a fan of Neil Peart. I'm going to say why. Because I get asked, every drummer gets asked, what do you think of Neil Peart? I mean, it's like a standard. You get asked that. For me, I like a drummer that will either move me emotionally or physically. And for me, Neil doesn't do that. I don't feel him when he plays. And Neil, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but I love you. I love your playing and everything. But I don't feel that pocket with him. I don't feel the pocket. I'm incredibly impressed with his speed and his accuracy. But I would never dance to one of his bits, and I don't feel emotional when I watch him play. Just like you explained, John, when you were listening. Just when you just talked about Trower, I could see you get emotional going back to that time of feeling that drummer play. You felt him, and to me, that's a good drummer. You feel him.
Well, check out Bill Lorden. I'm telling you will be impressed.
Robert Trower's badass.
Bill Lorden.
Yeah. That's like Deep Purple days and something like that, Machine Head album. Those are great drummers. You don't hear it. On my first world record, I played
Ian
Purple.
Pace is underrated.
Oh, huge. I played that song on day 3 at the first world record after playing for over 100 hours straight. Actually, it was day 4. I played Machine Head, and that's what got me on the map, is because I was basically sprinting at a marathon. I did that. That was 108 and a half hours, 108.5, 5 days, 4 nights for that. I'm one of only 5 drummers in the world to ever play over 100 hours consecutive. Documented. I'm number 1 America, top 5 world.
How did they spoon feed you while you're playing and
no,
stuff like that?
They can't touch me. They can't touch me. So they would lay the food down on a little table, or sometimes on my floor tom, and I would come around the top. And then on some of the songs, like let's say we do an MJ song, I go one-handed, and pop food in my mouth real quick. Yeah, and that's how I ate. Now you weren't allowed to defecate or urinate on the drum set. That was the
my
rules.
gosh.
Right. So they, for every hour that you played, you were allowed a 5-minute break. But here's where the strategy came in. You could accrue it instead of use it. So for the whole first day, I didn't take a break. The news reported I took a 10-minute break on the first day. I didn't. I took a break. My first break was 15 minutes on day 2. And then my longest break was 45 minutes on day 3. Yeah.
Wow.
And then
that's craziness.
Well, and then all 5 drummers in 2017 met in Portugal. There's only 5 in the world that played over 100 hours. We all got together in Portugal for a team record. And I broke my wrist. It's still very bad. On day 2, I broke my wrist.
No.
But I kept playing. So I played for 3 days with a broken wrist.
Oh, geez.
But here's the reason why. I mean,
dedication there.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of reasons. Part of it was the people there. The other part they had the flag. They had these T-shirts, and they put the flag of each country on the shirt. So I saw the American flag with my name on it out there, and I'm thinking about the veterans and what they did for our country. Last thing I was going to do was walk off that stage without a world record with an American flag on my shirt. There was no way. I was just like, no way, dude. Yeah, and then the people, my shirt sold out. And here's why. The Portuguese people, with their drummer on stage, all came out with my shirt. And they were yelling in broken, Portuguese, "Born in the USA, rock and roll," because they knew my wrist was broken and they knew I was still playing. And the crowd was massive. And we were in the top level of this mall, and they all stood by and were cheering me on because they knew what I was going through. I thought, wow, how do you stop? You can't. Yeah. You got to do it, right? You got to. So it was good stuff. It was a great moment.
Well, getting back to what you said before.
I'm going to check with you guys in a bit.
Huh?
I'm going to check with you guys in a bit.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, John.
Right on, bro.
Thanks for helping me out.
Have a good one. Nice talking with you.
Good meeting you, John. Keep those drums rocking. Yeah, I'm going to bring up some Trower.
Bill Lorden, just don't forget.
I'm going to listen to him today.
I'm going to have to look these guys up now because you got me all curious.
Oh, they're good. Oh, he's on the money on that. He's right. He's right.
But I was saying, Luke, when you were talking before, it was a good subject about. I believe that God gave you the gift of music, and I know He wants you to use that gift to come back to Him some. Or a lot, right?
Yeah.
But also, I don't think He has a problem with you playing different types of music.
No.
I think, or maybe it's like this, or maybe when you're using your gift and you're making people happy like that, maybe that's what He wants. See, I don't know that. I know that He gives gifts for reasons, and I know that He gives you a purpose, and if it's giving people joy, then. I don't know. See, I've been trying to figure that out.
Well, I was invited to play at a church once, and I did. and I showed up and I did the first session, and the crowd was so amazing. They went nuts. They went nuts. It
Yeah.
turned into a concert. They all stood.
They do
stood.
sometimes.
It did. And what was really cool is now usually they leave, right? And then the next group comes
Right.
in. We were going to
Next
repeat.
group comes in.
They didn't leave. They all stayed, and all these other people. So it was twice as full all the way out to the lobby.
Nice.
And I'm like, so it just goes to show you, people appreciate music, and a good song is a good song. A good musician is a good musician. Doesn't matter where you're from. And I believe music normally, for the most part, is for good. I like to believe that music is for good.
Well, some musicians and some songs, some of the guys, right? I don't want to sound like an old fogey or nothing, but sometimes they just go a little too far.
Well,
on
yeah.
stuff,
I
demonic
agree.
stuff,
Well, they're doing the shock. There's the 70s where they had the whole satanic crap going on.
right. That
and
just doesn't make any sense. I mean,
it was all
mean,
show. It was show.
Yeah.
But you know what?
it was a show. I realize that, but it's just like, why?
With that said, though, bad things
Yeah.
happen to those guys. Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant gets in an accident. Their drummer dies. That one of his children pass away. I mean,
Oh wow.
so you don't mess around with that stuff. I mean,
No.
there that backmasking on that album, it's there. Those satanic symbols on stuff. I'm not trying to say they're wrong or right, but I'm just saying that weird things happen to those bands that
Right.
did that. Hotel California, there's that satanic imagery on that album cover, and LaFay, who did the Satanic Bible, is in that picture on the second balcony, and that
know
is their
that.
biggest help. Oh yeah, if you look, here's the thing to do, people. You want to check this out? It's really spooky. The album opens up, as you know. Now, when you open it up, all the people are in there. Look at this balcony on the second to the top balcony. You'll see horns and a long tail that looks like a shadow going down the wall, and a red shirt and a black. That's LaVey in the photo. You can look it up.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of other, imagery in that album. Now, that album becomes their biggest, also destroys the band. The band never is the same after that album. So
Wow.
whatever you want to say about it, don't play with fire, whether you believe
Yeah.
or not. It's not worth
That's
it.
true. That's a great way to put it too. Don't play with fire.
No, why? Why?
Yeah.
If it's a good song, why do you need to do that? You don't need
You know
to
what?
do
I've been
that.
trying to figure out if my chat works.
Oh, I haven't even looked. I'm checking.
Maybe nobody's said nothing, but I haven't.
It's quiet.
John put something on here, and it has another number one on the comments. You want to try one? Can you got something you can try it on?
As far as I don't even have my laptop. I barely made
Wait,
it to
Royce in
here.
the house is on here.
I see Royce. Ask Royce to
Who's that?
test it.
Did you see him come up? When
I
he
see.
said,
he
hi,
says hi,
everyone."
everyone.
yeah.
And I don't know.
So you're
how-
seeing it?
I see it here when I switch over. Yes.
Oh, we
I
switch.
see.
You have to switch over to see it.
I got to switch the
Okay.
screen over here. I
Right.
have to push
I just
chat
switched
on the
screens and
bottom.
it was there.
Yeah, I saw him down there in the bottom.
But I'm wondering why. I didn't see it down at the bottom. That's what
Yeah,
I'm wondering why.
That's what I do when I'm on his show. Is if there's a gap if someone else is talking, I'll take that moment to look real quick so I can
Oh, I
address
see.
anybody.
yeah.
Yeah, it works out sometimes. A lot of times it'll look like there's only 9 people talking to us, but
Right.
actually there's 1,000. You never know. So you just, and then people come back to these shows. So I tell people, the numbers are bigger than you think because people
Oh, yeah.
watch these things later on.
Well,
Just hang out.
when I first started doing this. I always wanted to have people come on, and discuss different things, and I'll see how people. I'm trying to keep a Bible base going on, but I want to expand and go out and talk to people on the street, and I want to have
Sure.
maybe you play some acoustic or sing something if you want to come on sometime to do that.
Yeah, I might be able
If
to
you'd
do
like
that.
to. I mean, I'm not. If you have time to join me now and then, I'll let you know when I'm coming on.
Sure. What I do is I'll provide clips usually because these systems aren't the greatest when you do live music. They cut
I know.
out, and so
Mine. Since I've gone live, I try to play one of my songs. I'm trying to put together a Christian album. It's kind
right
of a
on.
drag because I have to I'm doing it all by myself right now. My
Okay.
wife was doing it with me for a while, but she got sick and she doesn't have enough breath to. She's a good singer, and she doesn't have the breath to go very far anymore. So I've only got her on one complete song right now. And anyway, I've got 9 songs that are in process. So I think it's going to come out pretty good. But I need to get me some keyboards.
Well,
I play, but I don't play good enough to. It'll take me forever.
The
Forever
big thing,
to do it.
the big thing now is TikTok. What's
and
happening?
I need a drummer. I need drums. I'm going on electric drums, but I'm going to take those out. You know?
Get acoustic setting. Well, it's hard
Yeah.
to find drums in studios nowadays, good drummers. And there's not a lot of new stuff coming up. So, yeah, we just laid 16, it was actually 18 tracks the other day, right here in a living room. And in 2 days, we did the song, the one that I got down below here. Wonder Falls is the new act. And then the new song,
okay.
Color of You. It's called, if you check it out, Color of You is the new music video I just put out. And it's got Dana Hansen on it, who's like this amazing
I saw her.
singer.
I watched a little bit of Royce in the House. Was it last night? You know what? Me and Royce got talking yesterday. I mean, we haven't really talked much in a few months, off and on a little bit. But if you're out there, Royce, I'm coming at you right now. But anyway, he got on my case a little bit.
What? Why did you get on your case? What did you do?
And I understood, though. I didn't get mad or nothing. He said, well, Rich, if you want our support, you got to support us, which I understand that. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, all that kind of stuff from New York, Anyway, but anyway, so, and I understand that totally, but I just, I go through these down periods, and I don't know why, where I go for a few days where I can't even, I don't know if it's not really a depression where I want to, do anything weird, but it is some sort of form of depression, right? But really, my computer was out for 4 months until this guy I know who takes care of her son who's autistic, he comes and cares for him and takes him out and does a whole bunch of things with him and stuff. And he comes 5 days a week, and he's really good with computers. So he cleaned mine out and put a new operating system in, and we're getting it going again now. It's
Nice.
going pretty good right now, and hopefully it doesn't get messed up. And my wife wouldn't let me use her laptop. She didn't want me. She said, "You ruin that one. You're not going to ruin mine, right?" I finally got it fixed, and I wasn't not trying not to support you. It was just my stupid mind stuff,
I believe in. I used to be friends. If you remember Zig Ziglar, I had the opportunity. I used to go eat breakfast with him and stuff. I love that guy. He was a preacher, but he ended up going into motivational speaking. And one of the things he used to say that I never forgot, he said, to get more of what you want, you simply need to help others get more of what they want. It's such a simple line.
Yeah.
That's it. So
the Bible says something like, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, you lead by example.
In other words, don't be a butthead and expect everybody to be nice to you, right?
So
people will be nice to you, people that have those kind of hearts, they'll be nice to you, but they're just going, oh man, what's wrong with this guy? If you're doing that to him.
Well, and here's the difference. I'm going to hammer Royce for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to hammer Royce for a second and I could do that because I love Royce. But okay, so the difference between Royce and I, he told you, hey, if you want support, you got to support me. So my style is I'm here supporting you. I didn't ask you to support me, right? But
I totally understood what he was saying to me, and
I do.
I wanted the show to be a success too. It's not like I'm sitting over here. I hope we don't get nowhere and all this kind of stuff. There's no jealousy or nothing going on. But the thing about it is it was all me. It had nothing to do with his show.
Royce is a good guy, and he's very positive. He's a positive influence. I love working with him, and I'm going to keep working with him. And he's connected to people like you.
Got a good thing going,
Oh, we're having a blast. Yeah, we got Michael Nolan joining us now, and of course, Ask a Dan. The shows are funny. Some of the stuff we're just like I crack it up when we're talking about some stuff.
You know what? What I was going to say to you is we had that big conversation. We're doing. Can you see my hands over here?
Yeah.
We're having messages that long. We're telling like stories, about and we're going back and forth, and of course I got to be very careful not to let anything get to me, right? Because we didn't speak for a long time at one point. We didn't talk for I would say a couple of years once.
Wow!
And
I'm glad you guys are back.
It was at least a year or two, and then I finally started. We started going back and forth a little bit, and then we started talking on live messenger and stuff like that. And I'm glad it's like it is now because it was a drag when we weren't talking. We don't know anything about your brother, what's going on, or anything else. But anyway, we started talking again. We have been for a long time now, but I forgot what I was going to. what my point was.
Well, I think what's great about that, I understand at some level. I had that with my father. We didn't talk for almost 10 years, and then at the end when he was ill, I was the one that stepped up and took care of him, took him out and stuff like that. And so you never. And part of the reason I did that, a lot of my family was like, "Why are you doing that? This guy was abusive, and he's not a good person." In this case, I'm not comparing him to your brother, than my father. So the reason I did that is because I did it for me. It was a selfish thing. I wanted to feel like I was doing the right thing. Right. Period. I didn't care if you thought it was the right or wrong thing. The other important thing for me was I knew my kids were watching. My kids were watching. So if I don't talk to him, if I distance myself from him, what is going to stop them from doing that to me later on if they decide they don't like me? Right? Yeah. That's how I feel.
We were saying, treat others the way you want to be treated, right?
That's right.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing.
It's huge. It's huge.
And the Bible, it says in the Bible somewhere, and I don't know exactly where it says it, but it says that your parents raise your children up right, and they won't depart from it, right? I think it's in Proverbs. In other words, you're supposed to raise them up in the ways of the Lord, and they won't depart from it. But then it also says in another section of the Bible somewhere that we are to, when our parents get old and they can't take care of themselves, that we're supposed to take care of them.
Yeah.
It really says that in there. I mean, a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people know that. I didn't know that. It was
that's a big, I'm a huge, I travel the world a lot. And one of my favorite countries to visit as far as culture is Japan. And the reason I like Japan, I really appreciate the elderly. I just like kids and the elderly. I love working with those two groups. The elderly in America, we do a huge disservice, in my opinion. We take our elderly and we put them away. We get rid of them, get them out of here, put them in a home. In Japan, it's true. In Japan, and it was really bad during COVID. We didn't even let them hug people. We took away their love.
Yeah.
In Japan, it's just the opposite. When you're older, you become more valuable. They bring you into the home. You take care of the kids. You don't have a stranger watching your kids. You got grandma and grandpa watching the kids.
Right.
And they teach you the history of the family while they're there, and the food and the culture. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to that.
I have one son. His name is Richard Royce. He's got my brother's middle name. I'm named for a middle name, Richard Royce Eddings. And he rarely had anybody but family taking care of babysitting and stuff. It was he was with me and his mom, or he was with my mom and dad. They were like second parents because we played. And me and his mother, my ex-wife I can't even hardly call her an ex. It's been almost 40 years, But anyway, me and her were a duet. She played a Fender Rhodes bass, little keyboard. And I had a Gibson Les Paul in those days, and we had electric drums, and we played on the road in Vegas, everywhere. We were the Eddings Duo. That's
awesome.
And an agent named us that. And what happened was we broke up. Our band broke up in Canada. And it was me and her left. And so I knew an agent that booked us before in Washington. His name was Paul Handler. And we went and got it with whatever little tiny money we had left. We rented a weekly. We rented it for 1 week. And I went to the Hawk Shop and I traded my Fender Mustang for a electric drum unit. It was a Maestro electric drum unit. I never seen one before, right? No, I take that back. My friend Kelly had a Hammond one that wasn't in the keyboard. It was a separate unit. Anyway, so we traded it for a Maestro. It was a shitty little drum unit, but it did the job.
Kept time.
We practiced, and she had her keyboard bass, but she was pretty new on it. We got her on it to play bass in the band we took off on the road with, right? But just a few months and we were out there. Anyway, we practiced for a week, and I called the agent, and they set us up an audition at a travel lodge that had a lounge in Spokane. Spokane.
Wow.
And we went in there and we played, and they liked us, right? And we're like, all right. And they invited us to stay at their house. They had a house out in the country, like a 10-acre ranch thing. And we practiced there for 2 weeks, and they sent us back out on the road as a duo.
Oh, right on.
And
you mentioned breaking up. I broke up with bands in the middle of nowhere 3 times in my life, and that became my new home.
That really sucks, man. Once we were in Canada and broke up. We said the band was getting bad reviews and everything. It just wasn't right, And so it's a long story, but the drummer was drummer was married to this Hispanic girl, and they had a little baby, and they had a nanny, right? Which was of course going to break him on the road, right? But anyway, so we got with the
Yeah,
drummer,
it's
we were just
crazy.
going to be a trio, right? So he gets to thinking about it. Well, they're going to get a double cut,
Oh,
because we were together, right? Were we married at the time?
that's the way it works, though.
I think we were.
That's
We
fair.
might have
That's
been
fair
married. Yeah,
game.
we were married anyway. So we're going to be getting a double cut. So he says, "Well, my wife's a dancer,
Oh shit. Oh god.
and she sings. She can sing backup too." Oh my God! So we brought her over, and we put a set of conga drum up.
Lucy,
Maybe
I'm
she could beat
home.
on that a little bit too.
Oh
And
my.
and he got her a crappy mic, and she couldn't sing and dance or play or do really
It's
much
like
of
a
anything.
Yoko syndrome.
Had no clothes or nothing, so my wife had to lend her all the clothes for. We had all
Outfits.
kinds of stuff. We in the clothes department, we were
Yeah, you
we
got
were
the
we could have
veterans.
did a 70s disco look or a country look or anything. That's what we had for.
You guys were pros, and she
Yeah,
wasn't.
and so we did it,
Just
and it
wanted
lasted
to-
about. We did about 4 or 5 gigs, a couple of weeks each. Maybe 6 weeks of playing, or 2 months at the most, and we broke up. We just couldn't hack it no more.
Wow, that's
We ended up
sad.
at that agent's house, and they took care of us for a long time. It was really nice.
That's
Nice
what
kids, everything.
they don't tell you about those stories, on the road. But I will. I'm going to do a plug.
Okay.
LouMarsBooks.com. I tell my
Okay.
story. My memoir is there called Beat Alive. It has
I heard
stories
you
like
talk
you just
about
said.
that on one
Yeah.
of the Royce in the houses, I think. Good.
LouMarsBooks.com. Your listeners, please go visit it. And
Okay.
there's 3 free chapters on there. And Richie, send me a link, and I'll send you a free VIP pass to the back room so you can read it for free. There's
Okay.
a preview in the back.
How do I do
where,
that?
you can
How do
see-
I do if I
Uh,
want to get it?
Are you on Facebook Messenger?
Yes. And
Message
I'm on
me on there.
StreamYard too.
All right, send me. Well, you sent me that StreamYard link. Send me an email. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll just send it to you there
Yeah.
later today. There is a chapter being released behind the scene as VIP back room to subscribers. I'm going to give you a free link. Chapter
Okay.
26 is out this week. The book's almost the book's already done, but these people get to read it before it hits the hardcover coming out, so you get a preview.
Alrighty.
It's really cool. Yeah, I'd love you to read. I think you'd really appreciate it because of your
Yeah,
background.
I've heard you talk about it, but I went through months of just this not doing nothing phase.
Oh,
And I hate it. I went through
understand.
like almost 2 months of it, like the guy in the Beach Boys.
Yeah, you're talking. Well, you're preaching to the choir on that one. Depression is a serious thing, and a lot of artists deal with that. We're different wired than I believe other people. When they talk
Is
about
it that
autism,
we're doing something and do I expect so much more to happen, or do I expect I should be getting things done faster, and it's not happening, and I don't like doing stuff alone.
well, I think one thing I know where I'm different. These people that can get up and go to a job at 9 and get out at 5 or 8 to 5 every day,
Yeah,
that drives me absolutely nuts.
me too. It always has.
Yeah, but there's other people. That's their comfort zone. They like it. They're the same ones that created
They'll
the
keep those
schools.
jobs for 50, 40 years.
I just
Give
want to
full
kill myself.
retirement, 75%. I mean, really.
Yeah, I don't.
I
can't
have
do
to commend them for that, because the longest job I ever had, I was in real estate. I was a realtor. And then I ended up doing like mortgages the last 4 or 5 years, because they started letting us do that. So I hooked up with a mortgage lady, and I got percentages for selling mortgages too. And sometimes I sold the home and the mortgage at the same time, and it was good. But that's the longest job I ever had. And I think I was licensed, and I did it full time. I had some part-time spurts too when I wanted to go do something else, because I got so wound up and sick of it for a while. But I did it full time almost 20 years. That was the longest job I ever had. But I was licensed for 20 years.
Well, we need those people
Yeah.
to do those jobs, but we also need people like us to do these other things. And the problem is, they try to get all of us to fit into one neat little box, and it doesn't
Yeah.
work. And that's where the problem is. And that's why guys like you and I get depressed, because it's people trying to push us into those boxes. Again,
Right.
that's my opinion. You
I
got to
go through
realize
days at a
it.
time saying, "Man, and I'm 66, and I'm already drawing Social Security, and I'm trying to do something with the music, and hopefully now that I've got my everything together again. Well, not everything. We're on, right? But
Right.
I got
We're
my
here.
guests together again. But when I've been really wanting to get out on the street, and I want a camera. I want some sort of, I don't know what I need, a camcorder or something, so I can just carry it around and do the videos on that, and then put them on the
Well,
computer.
you got the answer. You got
Well,
your answer. You just said your answer out loud of what you need to do. I mean,
yeah,
that's it. So you need to just do it. And with
yeah,
all the stuff you've done before, you'll do it. So
yeah.
get on it, and that's going to make you feel better.
That's gonna really open up broad subjects with people and what they're
Yep.
going through out there in life, and
Yep.
maybe I can help shed some light on the situation. With that's all I'm trying to do. I'm learning about this stuff. I'm still new. I'm still new. I became a
Well,
Christian about 5 days before my 60th birthday. I mean, I said
right
the
on.
words before that. I said the sinner's prayer and all that kind of stuff, but I
Right.
really didn't. It didn't really hit me till that day when I had an actual experience with God. And I have never told the story, but I'm gonna. I'm going to, when I get
Well,
enough
that's
guts,
good.
I'll say what happens. I'll say what happened to me. And if people want to believe it, they can. If they don't want to, then, maybe someday when they will, right?
It's your truth, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. There are things in my book that sound completely absurd, but I have proof that they happen. Thank God.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be like, "There's no way." You're glorifying. No, actually, I've had that wild of a life. But at the same time, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. You finally get to a stage in life where it doesn't matter what people think or say.
Right.
You got nothing left. I have nothing left to prove anymore. If you don't like my stuff, okay, you don't like my stuff. You don't like
So
who
we
I am,
come this
okay.
far. I mean, how much more time are we going to put in trying to prove something?
Yeah,
You know?
I don't even have I can't even top myself at this point. So,
Right.
I'm not
I
even
just
going to
want to,
try.
I'm just really what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to share stuff. I'm
Yeah,
trying to share stuff.
give
If I don't
back.
ever make a dime from what I'm doing, that's okay too.
It's
I
like I
feel like
said,
if I don't mean, of course I want to make a dime, right? But
we
what
got to
I'm
eat.
saying, what I'm saying is, it's up to God at this point. To me,
Yeah,
that's what it is. If He wants me to prosper in monetarily from this, from what I'm trying to build now,
yeah.
then that's what'll happen.
You do the best you can. You
Because He's
try to be
taking care of
good.
us right now. He's taking care of my family right now, and I know that. So,
Yeah, do your
I mean,
best to be
there's no
good.
way we would have gone through what we went through and ended up here in the last 5 or 6 years.
You could be on team bad or you can be on team good. I choose team good.
Yeah, me
And
too.
I think one good person is worth 10 bad. That's why they're afraid of good people, because they know that real bad guys know that one good person, a true good, is much more powerful. And so therefore they got to group up just to take on
Yeah.
one good guy. So my word to people is be good. Just do the best you can. You make mistakes. You're going to sometimes fail
Right.
at doing
That's
that.
a hard
But
one too.
try.
Making mistakes is a hard one too. I mean,
That's how you
and like
learn.
for a lot of people, once they start in a failing spiral, it's a good time to give up.
Well, yeah, that's
But
that.
but I'm not saying I'm just being sarcastic.
No.
It's
No,
not a good
that's
time to give up.
right. It's Book of Job.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about right there. And that is for musicians. That is the book right there. That's if you want to. All of us have been through that. That
Well,
is the book
that's a heavy duty one there, man.
It
But
is.
that's what Job went through,
But it's the truth, and that's the story for us, in my opinion.
Right.
I have to sign off. I wanted
I
to
do
get
too.
in
I was
here.
going to say,
Okay.
go ahead. I'd like to thank you, Lou. Thanks for helping me
right
out.
on.
And
No,
I'll send you. You'll see me come up, and I'll send you links. And if you want to come on and join me, you can.
Yeah. No, I'm going to
Yep.
try to make some rounds this week and push
Yeah.
that new music video. Go check it out on my Facebook page and
I will.
YouTube. Blah blah blah.
Okay. All right. Now take it easy.
All right. Take care.
I'm gonna go out with a prayer.
Do it.
Lord,
Do it
I'd
too.
like
I'll
to
wait.
thank you for blessing this program, and thank you for my guests, Lou Mars and John Negri, and continue to bless what they're doing and what we're doing here. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you,
All
John.
right.
Thanks for having me, brother.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Take it easy.
Bye bye.
He's still there. No. All right. Oh my gosh. I'm still live. You know, I got all these chats over here. I didn't even look at them. So it is working. James Wong, he cut. Well, who's James Wong? Big Mike. I don't even know any of these people. What are these people talking about? Let's see what they're saying. Let me put my glasses on. Somebody's on my case. Okay, what are these people saying about stupid stuff here? Oh, I'm live still. I'm going to look at this live chat, okay? Let's see what's going on here. We've been on an hour. Okay. Oh, my gosh. Lou, I'm not going to read these to you because I think they're okay. Oh, Royce, he's standing in line at the DMV. Okay, Royce, I'll forgive you. I stole one of your co-hosts today. But I'm Royce says your chat works, Rich. Okay. You know what's going on? I was on full screen and I couldn't see my chat. I thought it was supposed to come all across the bottom. Okay. Anyway, your chat works, Rich. And Royce says, hi, everybody. Royce in the house. Standing in line at the DMV. Oh, you poor thing. Okay, now we got James Wong on here, and he says, "We must be talking about Lou, but I don't like chats like this. Should I read it, Lou? I don't know. I'm not going to read it. If you want me to, well, maybe you can read them. I don't know." I just reported both him and the show. Royce in the house. I know, laugh out loud. I don't know what this means. I don't know. There seems like there's a little bit of a squabble going on there, but I'm not one that's going to make a big deal out of anything. Anyway, I'm going off, and I really appreciate y'all listening. And I appreciate the chats, no matter what they are. And my name is Richie Eddings. This is the Jesus Movement, and I want to say again, thank you to John Negri and Lou Mars. It was a great, great show this morning. I'm ending broadcast now. Adios. And I'm going to say adios. I'm trying to keep talking until it ends.